Alright, I'm back again, and this will not be an angry rant, I hope. I've waited 24 hours to kind of cool off, but it'll be a bit of a rant. On why I won't be doing business with Ag-Pro unless I absolutely positively have to, and may or may not ever buy anything from John Deere ever again. Little background. I come from a long agricultural background. My family has been doing farming for centuries. I know for a fact we have been using pretty much exclusively John Deere equipment for over a century. We have horse-drawn equipment that had been used for so long that the steel wheels were almost, they're incredibly thin. Like we have an old pull-top road grader that we got from the county decades and decades ago, probably 60, 70 years ago. And the wheels on that are pristine compared to some of these pieces of equipment. So, yeah, I mean, the first tractor we got was late teens, early 20s, and it was a Samson. Got rid of that and went with the John Deere 2-cylinder. I don't even know what it was, I just know that that's what happened. So, yeah, that's when I say they have, John Deere's gotten a good bit of money from us, they have. And then I've heard some stories. Was not there for them, and so I don't have first-hand knowledge, but I've heard a lot of stories about things John Deere was willing to do for my family back in the day. So when I say I don't know if I'll ever buy anything from them again, and questioning if I'll even buy maintenance parts that are branded with their name, is not something I'm taking very lightly. But when all of the local dealers are Ag-Pro, have been bought out by Ag-Pro, big conglomerate, and they treat you like they have done me, that's it gets to a different story. Back end of March, I reached out to the local Ag-Pro about getting some seals and gaskets and whatnot, rings for the lift cylinders of the 5400 Big Green. And they said, yeah, we've got them in stock. How many do you need? 2? Yeah, we've got that in stock. I said, great. I'll be there Friday. You know, I had some things coming up. I think it was on Wednesday. I said I'll be there Friday. Basically have them waiting. And I have the email I sent them. And they acknowledged. I believe they did acknowledge that. Anyway, showed up on Friday. They had 2 of one item I needed and 1 of the other. And I said, well, I sent you an email confirming you had it, and kind of let on that I would be here to pick them up. And the sales manager just looked at me. I guess we just sold the rest of them earlier today. That was almost, he did actually kind of do the, like he was almost laughing. I had a little bit of a laugh and said, I guess we sold the others earlier today. I think it's what he, almost verbatim what he said. But I went ahead and got them on order. A couple of weeks later, I reached out and they said, yeah, they're on back order from John Deere. Don't know when we'll get them. But we're reaching out to other locations to see if we can get them that way. Like, okay. On April 29th, I did send a follow-up email to him because I like to have a paper trail. I never received a response. A couple weeks later, I did file a complaint through John Deere. and they just hum-hawed around about need to follow up to see about getting the part. Anyway, I never once had anyone there reach out to me, and quite frankly, it's been on the back burner, so I haven't been as judicious as I have, but mainly because at that point in time I was already fed up, and instead of looking to do anything with the dealership, I was looking for other suppliers. Because when I filed my complaint with John Deere, I gave them the resolution of they can either send me a check for the amount for the part they didn't have, and I'll go to someplace else, or I can return the parts I have and I can get a full refund. And so that was the only options I gave them, because like I said, at that point I was fed up. That was first middle of May. I finally found someone, blanked on the name. I know the first part is Allegheny. They it's like Allegheny Lancaster or something like that. It's a hydraulic shop, hydraulic supply store in Pennsylvania. I may go in and drop a link down in the description. Sent them a message on Sunday night and said, hey, this is what I've got. This is what I'm looking for. Do you have anything like that? And within 24 hours, they were almost apologetic on how late it was, how long it took to get back to me, which was within 24 hours. And part of that was the weekend. And I said, but they didn't have it in stock, but they could get it through their suppliers, get everything they need. Awesome. So I'm going to work on getting that order put together, talk to their sales reps on that. But because I just got set up, I think the account's set up today to take care of that. But when I found out about that, I reached out to the dealer. This time I just sent him a message through Facebook, said, hey, I got the parts. My parts that I have, since you took so long, I'm going with someone else. I'm bringing everything else I have back. Have a check waiting on me. Then all of a sudden they just wanted to talk to me, but I was at work, and when I'm at work I really am not able to get off the phone to do a phone call. But that was that. I showed up with the parts, and I told them what I was doing. They, hold on a second, they pulled it up on the computer, hold on a second, they went in the back and they brought the parts out, the remaining kit out, and put it in front of me and said, here it is. Now, and then they sort of said, well, I don't want you to think that we're that kind of people. Here you can see on 4/21 they called you, but you did not answer. And I said, I never got a call back. I never got a call. It says right here they called you on 4/21. Okay, great. I never got a call. Well, did you reach out? I said yes. I sent an email, and then when I never got a response to the email, I filed a complaint with John Deere and never heard back from that. Heard back from you on that one. Let me see that email. And I showed it. Was that from John Deere? I showed him where the email. And he said, But they called you and you never answered. I messed around with my phone. I actually pulled up my call log, and I was getting ready to shove it in his face and say, here's the call log from that day. One missed call on that day, and it was from a number 3 states over. Matter of fact, I hadn't received any contact from him until I said, I want my money back. So I basically told them I looked it up. Now, granted, when they saw me flipping through my phone, and I said, I can assure you, I did not receive a call from you. They didn't ask to see my call log on my phone, because I'm pretty sure they knew that's what I was doing, because they could actually see what I was doing. The way I was holding it, they could easily have seen it. But they did not want to see it. They wanted to hide their head in the sand and claim that it was all on me. That they were not the kind of people that just take my money and that's that. Now, I don't think it's too unreasonable to, when you tell a business, hey, I'll be here at a certain time to pick that up. I don't think it's unreasonable to expect them to actually not take and sell it out from under you. To me, that's kind of classless on their part. And the entirety of the exchange was trying to find a way to pin it back on how it was my fault. When in reality, I did attempt to reach out through 2 different avenues so I could have a paper trail, and they never would follow up with me. They would never tell me, yes, we received it. Yes, I couldn't get an answer from them. And by the time I finally beat around the bush to reach out to John Deere, I was pretty much over it. And yeah, I could have been more judicious about it, but it's not like this was a make or break thing where I needed to be on the phone constantly. But by the same token, it's the principle of the matter. I shouldn't have to wait 4 months for parts, or months on end for parts, when I checked that they had them in stock and said I'll be there to pick those particular items up. Basically have them waiting. And then to stand there rather, and have them lie to my face and put them on the defense and prove to them that yes, they were in fact lying to my face, and they denied it. Basically continue to lie to me. That was kind of like the icing on the cake. And to tell me, oh, we're not those kinds of people, we don't do stuff like that. Pardon the language, bull fucking shit. Said I wasn't going to turn this into an angry rant, but I'm getting heated. After a certain point there, I did basically shut up and tell them, just give me my money back. But, and I can be reasonable on this. I know crap happens. I've returned calls and I've fat-fingered numbers or gotten a digit reversed or whatever. I know that happens. But this person was the general manager. Had they have said something to the effect of, I'm sorry, even just saying I'm sorry would have been one thing. But to say, I don't know what happened, we're going to look into it, even if they didn't, that would have done a lot to assuage my animosity. Because like I said, crap happens. Lord knows little things do happen. I've deleted emails on accident, or I've called numbers and gotten digits reversed, or punched in the wrong number, what have you. If they had just said, hey, we're going to look into it for you, and what can we do to make this right? Anything like that, I wouldn't be doing this video right now. I wouldn't have been contemplating jumping over the top of the counter to just wring that guy's neck. But they didn't take any step to show any degree of sympathy, any degree of compassion. It was all, let me explain how it's your fault. There's no way we would do anything like that. And they knew I could back up probably back up pretty much everything I had to say. The only thing they could have said was, you deleted this from your call logs, but I didn't. How would I have known that they had called on the 21st? If they hadn't answered. I have a voicemail. Why didn't they leave it? They had other means on file to contact me. Why didn't they use it? To just say, yeah, we called, didn't answer, put it back on a shelf and leave it. When the last I heard was, we're looking in to see if maybe one of our other locations has it in stock, and left it at that. I just find that unacceptable. And yeah, at that point, I was still going to be insistent on doing the exchange to get my money back, because the Allegheny, and I forgot the rest of the name. It was two names. I forgot the second one. I know it starts with an L. Like I said, I'll throw a link down below. The fact that they went to such great extent and were almost, like I said, almost sympathetic that it took so long to hear back from their supplier, which was completely understandable from my point of view. The fact that they did their due diligence and they were so professional about it, so understanding and everything. I wanted to give them my business because they were that way. So yes, I did go in there back in May even, and this, keep in mind, this is August 4th. When I filed the complaint with John Deere, it's like, look, if you're not going to, since you're not going to refuse to give me any type of update and follow up with me, just give me my money back. I'm going elsewhere. I was already done with it then. It got on the back burner because I have other things to worry about. And like I said, this particular tractor is about as old as I am and has a lot of hours on it, a lot of use, a lot of wear and tear, so it don't get used a lot. It's basically used to clear gardens or work up gardens, and if I need something with a front end loader, that's my go-to. I'm working on getting a flail mower, which I'm probably going to use behind it or the Mighty Alice, one or the other, I don't know which. Probably it, because I'm wanting to go with a hydraulic side shift, and that I haven't put there's a few things I would need to do to rig up auxiliary hydraulics to Alice, and I don't want to fool with that. Yeah. So it's going to be getting a little bit more use, but still not going to be, it's not going to be the main tractor. So it's not a make or break, but it's just the principle of the matter. And that's why, like I said, I didn't do the main follow-up. Is when you don't need it for a few months, you kind of forget about it and you focus on getting yards mowed, working in the garden, finding a new job, because I'm just burnt the fuck out, pardon the language. I guess I need to add a disclaimer in my title, but all those things is, and to be honest, there's been some days I've just been so dead tired I haven't felt like it, because, like I said, work has me completely burnt out. And I know that's kind of killed my drive to do other things and caused me to get behind on other things, so I'm playing catch up with that. And so the last thing I need to be worrying about is a few parts. And with Allegheny, they're able to, the parts they're going to get me are the exact same thing. They just don't have the John Deere. They're not in a package with John Deere's logo on it, and it's going to be half the price. And it's coming from a hydraulic supply shop. That's what they do, is supply parts for hydraulic cylinders, including for farm equipment. They know their stuff. And for first impressions, for anything hydraulic, I think they have earned my business going forward. And that's why I don't also mind sharing their information. I want the world to know about them. Those that don't know about them, hey, if you don't have a good local hydraulic shop and don't want to pay dealer pricing, but want to have something good, reach out to them. Maybe they can help you, make life easier for you. Anyway, this is way longer. This is a almost 22 and a half minute rant, semi-rant, which is way longer than I thought it would be, but I just got to rambling because emotions started flowing. Anyway, like I said, I'll throw a link down below to that, to Allegheny, because, like I said, awesome people. In Ag-Pro, you may have killed a working relationship with John Deere that dates back over a century. And I may buy something from John Deere in the future once the bitter taste in my mouth subsides. But if I do, I'll be going a long way to get it, because I won't be going to anywhere like Ag-Pro. And by the time I go to the closest dealership that's not Ag-Pro, I might as well buy a Kubota or a Zetter, because the Zetter dealership is about the same distance. I kind of like what I'm seeing on them better than Kubota anyway. Just saying. Later.